All right, so that right there, not a brand new song, nothing like that. But what that is an example, and we're going to discuss that in just a moment. This is Guitar Building Blocks, Part 2, the major scale. Okay, so that pattern what I was playing right there consisted of single notes, and if you remember, I was going off of the C major scale the entire time there and adding some chords in. So, from the very beginning, so I started with the first three notes of the C major scale, which would be C, D, E, and then I just played the actual chord itself, C major chord. And then I went into this, and that's four more notes from the C major scale, and I played a G major chord, even added the seventh, G7, made it a little more bluesy, but I put that in. So I was combining a few phrases, I guess, patterns of notes from the C major scale, as well as adding those chords in. And I was doing that intentionally just to kind of get it into your ear, pretty much the connectivity between the two. So I think a lot of people will hear the term scale and kind of think of, oh, it's just this complicated group of notes that doesn't make any sense to me and all that stuff. However, if you give it some thought, which what we're talking about right here, the scale and the chords are basically intertwined with each other. One derives from the other. And it's very good to have a general knowledge of those. So anyway, now the next question is, I see that you're playing those single notes, Matt, and then I hear the chords, but I still can't grasp how you're getting the chords from the scale. Well, that's what we'll talk about next. The C major chord consists of three notes, C, E, and G. Okay, and if you notice the way I just moved my fingers, I did the first, then I went to the third, then I went to the fifth note of the C major scale. So it's basically skipping every other note. C, skip the D, then E, skip the F, and then G. So there's the pattern right there, every other note. So C, E, G, C major. Okay. Another chord that I did in this thing, that thing that I played earlier, was the F major right there, and that is F, A, C. So if you play the C major scale again, whoops, that's wrong. Okay, so you have C, E, G, C major chord, F, A, C, F major chord. And if you hear, both of those chords are within the C major scale. So you have the C major chord, the F major chord, okay? And then we were talking about the G major chord. What notes are those? G, B, D. Every other note again. So we have C, E, G, F, A, C, G, B, D. All based on the C major scale. Now there's other chords too. And basically if you follow that pattern the whole way up the scale, where you go C, E, G, C major, and you go D, F, A. Well, that's a minor chord, which is D minor, so D, F, A. And then you go up to the next one, which would be E, G, B. That's also another minor pattern right there. So we have, which would be E minor right there, okay? And then the next one, of course, F, A, C, F major, and then we keep going up, G, B, D, G major. And then, if you recall, within the pattern I played earlier earlier in the video, this right there, A minor. Well, after G, B, D, G major, then we have A, C, E. Okay, still on the C major scale, the A minor chord. And then there is probably the hardest and the least used one in most common songs you're going to hear would be this one right here, B, D, F. Okay. That's kind of more of a sort of a jazzy type chord, and it's kind of got a little bit of a harsh sound. You're not going to be hearing that as much in some songs. I use it in some of my own though. But that's pretty much the last one that you get from this. And then C major once again. Okay, so pretty much there you have it. That's a breakdown of the basic chords that you can derive from a major scale. So what I'd like you to do is to continue to work on not just being able to play the C major scale, but start to identify those chords. So, and tie them together a little bit more. This is not just training for your fingers to be able to play the scale, be able to play the scale and maybe play some chords mixed in with some single notes, but this is also training for your ears, and it's very, very important. And this will help you out tremendously down the road. So, practice the C major scale. Play it both directions. Speed is not important right now. And as I was saying in the last video, picking with a downstroke is sufficient. You want to make sure that you can actually play these notes fine and you can hear them correctly. And then pretty much start doing the every other note that we were just talking about. Okay? And if you get that down, if you start to feel more comfortable with both the C major scale itself and some of those chords, if you want to try making up your own patterns, as we were doing earlier, then please feel free to do that. That will definitely tie those two elements together. Well, that's it for part 2 of this video. Please subscribe to my channel, stay tuned for more videos, and have a great night.